OneNGlen back in action. What do we have for you today? We're going to change a thermostat on a Jeep JK 2016. This is baby Bartledew's Jeep, the Fam Bam, my daughter from another mother father. Anyways, we're going to knock out a thermostat for her. She has an error code, a check engine light on her Jeep. Let me show it to you. Not sure if you can see it. There you go. P0128. Coolant thermostat. Coolant temperature is below thermostat regulating temperature. Her thermostat is probably stuck open. I'm gonna keep it easy. I'm gonna keep it quick, unlike some of my other videos. So it is just gonna be a step by step by step by step instruction. And then we'll clear the code out of there with my little reader. We'll get the baby fired back up. Here we go. Step 1, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. Loosen this. Loosen this bolt for your intake that goes to your throttle body. Remove this pipe. It will be easier if I just take the top piece off here. So you're just gonna unclip these. Should be another one down here and another one down here in the corner. Get those unclipped off there and then we'll be good to go. Get those two clipped, those bolts will be good. Let me get that off. Okay, once you get those two bolts off, those two screws, one on the throttle body, one on the top of the air box, make sure you unplug this little clip right here. This goes into the box, the bottom of that. I'm gonna loosen this off of the, this is the thermostat housing right here. So it sits right next to the alternator, underneath the throttle body. It's two T30 Torx, one on top, one on the bottom. But you want to get this hose off first, and you want to catch most of the fluid that comes out of here. This is antifreeze, this stuff is slippery, it's not that fun. So I'm going to try and catch what I can out of there. I'll have a catch pan at the bottom, and I'm also going to put a waterproof tarp down there so it doesn't go on my floor as well. And I'm just going to let it leak. The rest is kind of sitting in this housing here. Anyways. One T30 head right there. And there's one on the underside of it as well, down there. That's also a T30. So those T30 Torx bits, they're also just a 10 millimeter. So let me pop those off real quick. I'll pull the housing off and I'll show you what that looks like coming out of the Jeep. One thing you want to remember is this is an aluminum block. So when you go to put this thing back in, one, no need to crank on these bolts. It's got a little rubber O-ring. You'll totally be fine with that. No need to crank on these bolts. You got an aluminum block. So don't go torquing these things down all crazy and showing everyone how strong you are. There's no need for that. Here's the old housing. Oh, the gasket's still on there. You want to make sure you get your, here it is. You want to make sure that your gasket comes out of there. So don't forget your gasket. Don't leave that one in there. Your new one will come with a gasket, which is already in here, which is perfect. So the gasket is already kind of mounted on here. And this will literally just replace this piece. Chiropractor yesterday changed the headlight in his Honda Accord. And it took him forever to do it. We're not gonna, amateur. We're not going to give him a hard time about it, but he should have just came over here.
How did you learn to do all this stuff on your own?
Steve Wood, the master mechanic. Steve Wood, the master mechanic, gave me my confidence in working around vehicles.
Very nice.
Right back up. Okay. So the hose goes basically all the way back up on as far as it seats, and the clamp goes up around there as well. You got your top bolts all tightened up. We'll come down here with a rag. We'll kind of hand wipe everything off to get all that fluid off there. Put it back together. All right, so to kind of recap, it's super easy. 2 bolts, 2 screws, sensor under here, 2 bolts on the thermostat housing, and the hose that connects to it. That's all it is, really. We have it all buttoned up. As you can see, we are low on fluid because fluid came out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the Jeep started up. We're going to get it up to temperature. And I'm going to start adding some fluid in here. But when I add fluid, I'm also going to kind of burp the system. I'm going to squeeze this, your main line. I'm going to squeeze it to kind of push air in and out of here. And as the car heats up, it will eventually flow through the system. And I'm going to leave this cap off while I'm doing it so that air has a place to basically burp out of here. Air will come back out of here. When the car is warmed up and I feel like we're looking good, we'll go in there, we'll clear the code. If it's not cleared on its own, it should actually clear on its own when it realizes that it can get up to temperature. The code should clear on its own, but we'll check it out. Okay, took the bad boy for a test drive. We got it all situated, got it all back together. As you can see, thing ran good. Temperature stayed right where they should be. And no check engine light on the dash. So thermostat was changed. Again, just a quick recap. All 10mm bolts actually, and a flathead screwdriver. 10mm on the top, 10mm on the throttle body, or 10mm on top, 10mm on the thermostat, flatheads for the throttle body, and the air cleaner. That's it. And then throw some more fluid in there and you're good to go. Easy job. All right. OneNGlen out, folks. Peace.